All right, let's talk about something huge. Buying a home. It's probably the biggest financial decision you'll ever make. And when the stakes are that high, trust is everything. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the ethics of the mortgage world and show you exactly what rules are in place to protect you.
I mean, it really boils down to this, right? The person who guides you through this whole complicated process, your mortgage loan originator, or MLO, has a massive amount of responsibility. So how do you really know, that they've got your back?
Okay, so let's get into it. One of the best ways to understand what makes a great MLO is to first learn about the big, flashing red flags. These are the ethical lines that should never be crossed, and just knowing what they are can save you a world of trouble.
Generally, you can sort these violations into 4 main buckets. You've got steering and discrimination. That's when an MLO might push you toward a certain loan, not because it's good for you, but because it pays them a higher commission. Then there's misrepresentation, basically hiding important details, professional conduct failures, and finally, some really nasty predatory practices.
Speaking of nasty, let's talk about a practice called equity stripping. This is where an MLO convinces you to refinance your home again and again. It sounds like it could be helpful, right? But what's really happening is they're just churning your loan to generate new fees for themselves. And all the while, your hard-earned equity is just getting chipped away. It is a textbook example of putting profit way ahead of the client.
Now, some violations might seem a little less obvious, but they're just as serious. Take a failure of professional conduct, like, say, cheating on your required training. It's a massive red flag, because you have to ask yourself, if someone's willing to cheat on the absolute basics, what else might they be willing to do when your money is on the line? So let's make this real. Let's look at a case study of how this all plays out. This story, involving an MLO named Patrick Terrence Donlin, is a perfect example of just how seriously regulators take this kind of stuff.
So here's the story. Pretty straightforward. For about a year, Donlin had someone else take 25 of his required education courses for him. But by late 2025, regulators caught on thanks to some pretty advanced technology, and believe me, the consequences came down hard and fast.
And listen to the official language here. They didn't just say he broke a rule. No, they said he violated professional integrity and competency standards. That's a huge deal. The SAFE Act was put in place after the 2008 financial crisis specifically to make sure MLOs are qualified, competent, and trustworthy. He didn't just break a rule, he broke that fundamental trust.
And get this, look at the scale of this deception. This wasn't just him skipping one online class. We're talking 22 pre-licensing courses and 3 continuing education courses. That's not an accident. That is a clear, deliberate pattern of fraud.
So, what happens when the whole thing unravels? What's the price you pay for this kind of deception? Well, the penalties are absolutely not a slap on the wrist. They're designed to be so severe that no one else would even think about trying it.
First up, the money. A $31,000 fine. That is a significant financial hit, designed to send a very, very clear message. Next, his entire career was basically dismantled. He had to surrender his licenses in 19 different states. Just like that, his ability to work in most of the country was gone.
And the final nail in the coffin? That ban was permanent. Not just for a couple of years, forever. He can never, ever work as a mortgage loan originator in most of those states again.
And there was even one more layer to it. On top of everything else, for 2 years, he's also banned from holding any kind of management position at a mortgage company. This stops him from just sliding into a different role and potentially influencing other people. The system is set up to remove these bad actors completely. So, okay, a story about one guy who cheated and got caught. Why should this matter to you, the person who's just trying to buy a house? Well, it's simple. Every single one of these rules, every single enforcement action, they're all there for one reason: to protect you.
You know, it really comes down to this. An ethical MLO is on your team. Their focus is finding what's best for you. They're transparent about everything. They've done the work to be knowledgeable. An unethical MLO? They're focused on one thing: their commission. They might hide fees, push you into a more expensive product, and, as we just saw, cut corners on the very rules designed to prove they know what they're doing.
So let's just boil this all down. What are the big takeaways here? 1. These regulations are your safety net. 2. Integrity isn't just a nice to have, it's absolutely non-negotiable. 3. Regulators are watching, and they've got the tech to do it. And 4. That education stuff isn't just a box to check, it's the bare minimum for proving an MLO is competent and deserves your trust. And remember,
This case isn't some rare, isolated thing. This quote makes it crystal clear. Regulators are always getting better at this. They're using technology to actively hunt for this kind of misconduct, and they are not afraid to take severe action when they find it.
All of which brings us right back to the beginning. You are in the driver's seat of this massive, life-changing decision. So now, armed with everything you know about how important ethics and integrity are, what's the first question you're going to ask the person you're thinking about trusting with your new home?